Hello, class 5th. This is your second chapter in literature, The Emperor and the Shadow Puppets. So, by this title, we can understand that there is a connection between the emperor and the shadow puppets. So, here in this chapter, we will see that how this shadow puppet have effect on the emperor's life. You all know what is an emperor, king, or the ruler, the one who rules a kingdom. But do you know what is a puppet? Wait, I'll show you what is actually a puppet. Can you see here? This is a kind of puppet where these wooden toys are attached through a strings. And there is this type of puppet also where you insert your hand in that piece of cloth and then you enact whatever you have to. These are very familiar. You people have seen somewhere, maybe in TV, or you people have heard about them, or maybe seen in a book that with the help of puppet we enact a story and they are operated through a string. Again, you can see here. So what I want to show, this person who is standing here, he is known as puppeteer. And who is a puppeteer? Puppeteer is a person who operates a puppet, and this dog is a puppet. And can you see these strings? So these are the strings by which this puppeteer operates this puppet. I hope now you all know what is a puppet. So you people have seen the image of puppet. How does it look? Now I want to tell you what does puppet means. Puppet is actually a movable model. You people have seen in those images, they move also. So they are a movable model of a person or animal that is typically moved either by strings or controlled from above or by hand inside it. So I have shown you both the example of these. In one that is being operated through strings, and the second one in which the hand was there inside that piece of cloth that looks like a puppet, and that was controlled in that way. I hope this much is clear. All right, so this chapter is actually a folk tale. You can read it. It is given there on page 22 that it is a Chinese folk tale. What does this word folk tale means? It is folk tale. So what does this word mean? These are those stories that are passed down from generation to generation orally. I can give you an example. You all must have heard that story of a boy who was a liar. He always used to scream, "A wolf has come, a wolf has come." And when actually the wolf has come, nobody went out to save him. I think you all have heard that story for wolf and that boy. So we all have heard these stories, and it is passed on from generation to generation. It is passed down. Like our mothers have told us, we will tell our children in that way. So this is a Chinese folktale. There in China, this is also told in this way. I hope this much is clear. Here in this gear up, you can see this gear up. There are 4 images given, and you have to find it out what is what. Like this first one, this is what? This is a battery operated toy. You can control it with your remote control also, and there's a battery there. So it's a battery operated toy. The second one, you can see this image. This is a wooden toy. This third one is what? A puppet. Yes. And this fourth one, this is a clay toy. This is just to have fun. All right. Now let's begin our chapter. Once upon a time in China, the emperor's wife died after a long illness. What happened? Once upon a time in China, the queen died. And who was she? You know, queen is emperor's wife. So she died after a long illness. She was not well and she died. The emperor loved the queen so much that he missed her a lot and stopped taking interest in his day-to-day official work. This emperor, he loved the queen, or you can say he loved his wife so much that after she died, he missed her a lot, and he stopped taking interest in his official work. King has different work. Like they have to see that nobody attacks on their kingdom, and all the countrymen, they are satisfied with everything, whatever they have. There is no fight going on. So all these things the king has to look after. And because he missed her queen so much, that now he had stopped taking interest in all these work. His well-wishers and courtiers tried hard to take him out of his self-imposed loneliness. What happened? That he is a king. He has a lot of well-wishers, the one who think for his good things, and courtiers are those who work in his court. They were trying hard to make him think over this incident, this, as he was missing his wife a lot. So everyone was trying hard to take him out of this loneliness. He was feeling loneliness, but it seemed nothing has worked. Nothing was working. However, after a puppet show, that puppet show is being performed by a puppeteer. So that after that show, he started taking interest again in his kingdom's affair. So this is what we are going to study in this whole chapter. The following lesson is the story of the emperor's loss of interest in matters related to his country and his kingdom after the death of his queen and subsequent revival of his interest. What we are going to study in this chapter? That emperor's loss of interest. Why he lost interest? Because his queen died. And then what happened, because of which he started taking interest in all of his official work. This is what we are going to study in this chapter. I hope this much is clear. Let's see the first line. Once upon a time in China, in the Han times, the wife of the emperor became ill. After a long sickness, she died. The emperor loved her deeply and missed the queen a lot. So, it was a long time before, in the Han times. And what is that Han times? This is the time when this Han dynasty ruled in China, and this was called the golden era of ancient China. That was the best time. So during that time it all happened. What happened? That the wife of the emperor became ill, and after long sickness she even died. This emperor, he loved her wife a lot, and after her death he missed the queen also. He would spend most of his time hearing various stories from her maids. He missed her so much that he felt miserable after her death. As he loved her so much, he missed her also, and his life has turned into a miserable way. He was not happy at all. He was filled with sorrow, and most of the time he spent hearing stories from her maids about her. So the maids were closest to her, so they used to tell him all that thing that happened with queen. The people of his kingdom and his ministers were worried a lot. They thought that he would probably overcome his grief with the passage of time, but his loneliness affected his health and his work. Whenever the courtiers or ministers came to him for advice, he would simply say, "No, I will look into the matter some other day." He gradually lost interest in the activities of the court and those of the people of his kingdom. Now, whenever the people of his kingdom come to him for any advice, what he used to say? "No, I will look on this matter some other day." Like, he lost his interest, total interest in all the activities that was going on in the kingdom. And everybody thought that after some days his sorrow will also go, or he will overcome his sorrow. But this was not happening, and his loneliness, because now he is lonely, his queen died, so he is alone. So this loneliness affected his health and his work. So he was not even taking interest in his health and in his work. So his health and work both were suffering because of this incident that happened in this emperor's life. All right, I hope this much is clear. I will do till here, this point here, till here in this video, and in the next video I will start from this paragraph, that is the emperor would often sit. Before ending this video, I want to give you some homework that you have to do. I know you all know what is a noun, what are countable nouns, what are uncountable nouns. So what is your work is to find any 3 countable nouns mentioned in this story. You have to search 3 countable nouns that is mentioned in this story, and you have to give examples of any 3 uncountable nouns. That too, you have to search in this story. Then what you all have to search? Any three collective nouns. You know what is a collective noun? Collection of common noun or a group of noun taken as together. So that also you have to search. Then what is question 4? Write their number and gender against these nouns. You can see A, B, C and D part. What you have to do, you have to write their number, that they are singular or plural, and then you have to mention their gender, either they are feminine, masculine, neutral, all these things you have to do. And the answers of these 4 questions I will discuss in the next video, and then I will continue the rest part of this chapter. I hope till here everything is clear. All right. So bye and take care.